Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening, y'all? This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the channel. And today we're going to talk about a black entrepreneur from Memphis, Tennessee. His name was Robert Reed Church Sr., right? So, Robert Reed Church Sr. was an entrepreneur and he had several businesses. He was known as being one of the first millionaire that came up out of Memphis. So before I continue, peace to the chat. Shout out to Big Creek Money. What's up? And shout out to Chauncey. What's going on, Chauncey? It's been a minute. I hope everything go well with you. All right. So what I want to do is go ahead and get started. Now, who was Robert Reed? So this come from historicmemphis.com, right? So it says the first black millionaire. And that's a picture of him. Okay. That's a picture of Robert Reed. So it says he was an African American entrepreneur and landowner who lived most of his adult life in Memphis. All right, so his father, Charles B. Church, was a white steamboat owner captain. His mother, Emily, was a mixed race slave owned by his father. She died when Robert was 12 years old. His father never legally or formally recognized his son and didn't educate him. However, he did train him in the steamboat business where he was able to work as a steward, the highest position that a black highest position that a black could achieve. In 1862, Church was working as a steward on the steamer Victoria when it was captured by Union troops during the Civil War. The Union left the 23-year-old Church stranded in Memphis, and from then on, he essentially became a self-made man and amassed a fortune. All right. So it said he was born in Holly Spring, Mississippi in 1839. Right. And years later, Robert maintained that neither he nor his mother had ever been treated as a slave, even though that was their legal status. His father may have treated him with affection, but he never formally recognized the relationship, nor did he educate his son. All right. So on the steamboats, Robert worked as a dishwasher, cook, and steward, which was the highest position that a black could then achieve. While working as a steward on the steamer Victoria in 1862. Well, basically, I read that part. Let's skip. So it says he established himself as a Memphis businessman. At various times, he owned a saloon. A saloon is a bar. For those of you that don't know what a saloon is a bar. So, and he also owned a hotel, bank, restaurant, park, auditorium, along with various real estate investment. He was on his way to becoming a millionaire. So now, this is what Memphis was back in 1860. Okay. So during the Memphis race riot of 1866, a white mob attacked Church Saloon, shot him, and left him for dead. He recovered but was determined to stay in Memphis. He later testified against police during the investigation of the riots. So for the rest of his life, he faced trouble with the police and with the underworld elements who frequent his establishment. In 1878, Church was shot by a local sheriff, supposedly in a fight over a black woman. In 1903, he was in a brawl with two white men and ended in jail. So this was the riot that took place in Memphis. Okay, the race riot, and that's his father. Again, that's him. That's him. Lay on down the years. So it says when the yellow fever epidemic of 1878 hit, Robert Church stayed in the city. As Memphis was depopulated by the epidemic, the land was devalued and a church saw a great opportunity in real estate. He invested cheaply and increased his property holdings throughout the city. His properties grew to include undeveloped land, commercial buildings, residential housing, and bars in the red light district of Beale Street. So, speaking of Beale Street, That was a movie actually that came out, but there was a book that was written by James Baldwin. Matter of fact, let's look up the movie. Movie Bill Street. All right, so and the title of the movie is called If Bill Street Could Talk. Now, I don't think that this movie is really based off of Memphis, but from I came across a book about Bill Street that was in Memphis, Tennessee, and it talks about the life, the limelife, basically what we call the fast life, where there is, the underground world, the sex, the business, etc. Okay, um, so let's look at the book. All right, so here's the title of the book right here. That is Bill Street Dynasty, Sex Song and the Struggle for the Soul of Memphis. Okay. Okay, so shout out to you. Okay, you from Memphis. Shout out to Big Creek Money. You say you from Memphis, Tennessee. All right, Tennessee up in here. All right then. All righty now. Yes, baby. Yes. So, Tennessee is home of the blues. Home of the blues. Yep, home of the blues, they say, and home of country music, I believe as well. I could be wrong. Shout out to Memphis. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Yes, Memphis has such a very rich history. Orange Mound, a black owned area, what I'm saying, was a black owned community. Yeah, the same area that Eight Ball and MJG is from. That was a thriving community. Yeah, okay, 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 okay. All right, we got Memphis in the building. So go ahead, let's continue. Let's continue, let's continue, let's continue. All right. When the yellow fever epidemic of 1878 hit, right, Robert Church stayed in the city. As Memphis was depopulated by the epidemic, the land was devalued, and Church saw a great opportunity in real estate. He invested chiefly and increased his property holdings throughout the city. His properties grew to include undeveloped land, commercial, residential housing, bars in the red light district of Bill Street. It's been said that he collected approximately $6,000 a month in rent from his property. Okay, so that's a saloon. All right, and again, a saloon means basically a bar. That's all it is. Okay, and that's Robert Church, W.C. Handy, priest outside the Church Bill Street office. Okay, so again, it says that he owned a hotel downtown Memphis on the southwest corner of South Second and the Yazoo Streets. The hotel was advertised as the only first class colored hotel in the city. It had large, airy rooms and dining facility and was furnished with the best equipment of the day. Based on the address of Church Village Saloon in the above photo, The hotel was either on the second floor of this building or else on the opposite corner of the second and Gayazzo. No separate photo of the hotel has surfaced to date. Right. Then goes on to say in 1880s, Church built for himself and his family a big residence which had 14 rooms, included a double drawing room 32 by 16 feet and mural decoration by a framed Italian artist. It was one of the first homes of the Queen Anne style erected in Memphis. A three-story frame imposing building with four bay windows. It was elaborately furnished. Unfortunately, his heirs didn't keep up taxes on the house and it was seized by the city in 1930s. It was demolished during the construction of the Putte homes in 1941, or is it Foot? I think it's Foot Homes. Yeah, Foot Homes. The address of the home was 363 Lauderdale, changed to 384 South Lauderdale after renumbering. All right. So his original address was 363 Lauderdale, right? And then it became 384 South Lauderdale. Right. So this is what his home looked like. It looked beautiful. All right. So no appeal to church for aid or public enterprise for the benefit of Memphis was ever made in vain. He was for Memphis first, last, and always. After the 1878 yellow fever epidemic, Memphis had lost so much of its tax base that the city was reduced to giving up its charter. In 1893, Robert Church was the first citizen to buy a bond, bond number one, for $1,000 to restore the city charter. He was a generous contributor to many other civic causes, including buying the city a patrol wagon during one yellow fever crisis in 1901 when the United Confederate Veterans planned to hold their convention in Memphis. The city solicited funds to build a temporary $80,000 auditorium in the area of Confederate Park. Robert Church was one of the first to step forward and donate $1,000. All right, so this is the Confederate Hall that was built in 1901. And it says the $80,000 Confederate Hall was built for 1901 United Confederate Veterans reunion with plans to demolish it afterward. I would love to go to Memphis. It said in 1908, the Bill Street Baptist Church was facing foreclosure by creditors. Robert Church and his bank came to the church rescue and paid off its creditors with liberal repayment terms. Today, the historic church is once again in danger, this time of being demolished. So that's Bill Street Baptist Church, and it's on the list to become demolished again because they're still dealing with financial crisis. All right, so y'all have to, if y'all can hear the noise in the background, excuse the noise. They doing some things upstairs, so yeah. Let's see. Yep, number one black community in Memphis. Yep. Uh, Orange Mound. Yeah. What's going on, Centavo Peace? Okay, Foot Homes. I was correct. Yeah. All right. All right. Then I'm glad that you correct me on that Foot Home. Yeah. So basically, this man have done so much work, tremendous work in the community. He really have. See, now let's look and see what else he has done. All right. So down here it says Soviet Savings Bank and Trust. So in 1906, Church helped to found the Soviet Savings Banks and Trust Company, which was the first black-owned and operated bank in Memphis. The bank survived the financial panic of 1907, which closed older and much larger banks. In 1909, he stepped down as a bank president, and his son Robert took over. Right. So this is the Soviet Saving Banks and Trust Collection, University of Memphis Library. This is what it looked like, and I guess this is what it is now. It's a historical site. The building is there, but it's just a historical site. Okay, so this is the opening invitation. right. So it says German Bank. It says the check signed by Robert Church, and the German Bank, etc. So right here, Church Park and Auditorium. It's a whole lot. I don't think I'll be able to get through all this, but I'm trying to do it as much as I can. So it says Church Park and Auditorium in 1899. Memphis didn't provide recreational facilities for black citizens, nor were there suitable places where black theoretical troops could perform. So Robert Church bought a tract of land and created Church Park, which included a playground and a concert hall that hosted such prestigious guests such as Booker T. Washington, President Theodore Roosevelt, and um, W.C. Handy. This park auditorium was particularly important because it was a time when blacks weren't even allowed in Memphis City parks or public auditoriums. This park was called Church Park and Auditorium and was located on a site over 6 acres on Bill near Fort. All right. So this is what the church park looked like. Okay. So as you can see, this is a man who was dedicated to his community. He was giving so much of what he had. He has given so much to the community, right? He was very dedicated. All right. Um. So as you go down here, right, it says Church Park Auditorium. So the auditorium was equipped with the best and most modern equipment of the time. It could seat 2,200 people and had cost $50,000 to $80,000. This was the only venue of its kind in the United States, owned and operated by a person of color for members of his race. W.C. Handy was employed as an orchestra leader or orchestrated leader of the auditorium. All right. So it says the grounds were beautifully landscaped. This is what the grounds looked like at that time. Okay. And that's Theodore Roosevelt. He was speaking to 10,000 people at Church Auditorium Park. So it says years later, the city took over management of the park and auditorium, and during the 1940s, in a racially motivated move, they renamed the auditorium Bill Avenue Auditorium after years of neglect. Some structures in the park were demolished, including the auditorium. Then the land sat empty and barren until 1987 when it was finally refurbished and re-landscaped. In 1993, the park was listed in the National Register of Historic Places and was made part of the Beale Street Historic District in 1994. So Roberta Church, the granddaughter of the founder, gave the park a large 22,000 pound white granite and bronze memorial monument erected in memory of and dedicated to her father, Church Robert Church Jr. The monument features a bronze bust of Robert R. Church Sr. All right. So this is the auditorium. Okay, Church Park Community Center. That's Annette and Roberta Church. Okay, this is the renamed Church Auditorium. All right, so that was 1956, and this is what it looks like today. The church memorial donated by Roberta Church. Okay. That's Church Park. I mean, that's the statue right there. Okay, so that's the marker of dedication. All right. So it says a marker is placed for Church Park and Auditorium, Roberta Church and Mayor Richard Hackett on right. Photo Memphis Commercial Appeal, 1983. Okay, so Bill Avenue Auditorium. All right, W.C. Handy at the renamed auditorium. All right, so as you can see, this is his family tree right here. All right, so that's his family tree. All right, so it goes on to say that Robert Church Sr. founded virtually a Memphis dynasty, one of the most prestigious African American families in the United States. His first marriage was to a well-educated ex-slave Mary Louisa Ayers in 1862. This marriage produced Mary Church Terrell, one of the South's most prominent black women, and Thomas Ayers Church. Louisa ran a very successful hair salon for elite white women at 56 Court Street. It was this business that provided most of the income for the family in the years. She and Robert divorced in 1870, and she later moved to New York. In 1885, Church married Anna Wright. This union produced Robert Church Jr. and Annette Elaine Church. The wives, Anna and Louisa, were friends and remained so after the marriage. Wow. Now, in today's time, that's not very common because what we see is the baby mama. It's not very common for two women to be friends after they share the same man. Not very common because in today's time, you can't really find too many women be very, cordial with each other. I mean, there's some women that are, but not today, and not most of them because they still have feelings for the same guy. So when you have feelings for the same guy, you'll be fighting over him. You know what I'm saying? You'll be envy of each other. Which is mighty strange because the guy eventually moves on to the next woman. But anyways, I guess that's human nature too, right? But anyways, yeah, they became friends and then they remained good friends even after his death. So but yeah, that's valuable information. That man really put a lot of dedication and work into his community. That's a man who really cared about his people. As an entrepreneur, he made sure that black people had opportunity and they had access to go and do things and you know, be able to have some type of enjoyment. Let's see. There is a lot of rich history here, Slave Haven, where you can go and visit, and the Civil Rights Museum. Um, what about the hotel where Dr. King was assassinated? Yeah, I know that's like a historical area now. What's called the Lorraine Hotel or the Lorraine Motel? Yeah, yeah, the Lorraine Motel. I wonder how much it costs to go there because I want to visit there one day too. Yeah, I want to visit Orange Mound and the Lorraine Motel where Dr. King was assassinated at, and all these other historical sites. Yeah, Memphis got a lot of rich history, and I want to be able to go and learn about the blues artists that came up out of Memphis and the hoodoo practice out there. Y'all got it going on over there, in Memphis, right? Okay, so it's free. Okay, cool. That's free. That's great. Hey, Kent, how you doing? Peace to you. Shout out to Kent. What's up, Kent? Oh man. All right, so let's show some more information. All right, so right here, according to Wikipedia, all right, they have some more information. Death. So Church died on August 29th of 1912. And after a brief illness, he is buried in Elmwood Cemetery on the south side of downtown Memphis. So in 1953, burning of the church family home. In 1953, the city of Memphis hosted a demonstration of fire equipment during which the home Robert Church had built for his family in a wealthy mixed-race neighborhood was burnt to the ground. The event was an act of revenge on the part of Memphis Mayor Edward Hall Boss Crump for the church family's black voter rights activism. The tri-state defender called the burning of the church house an act of infamy. In 1955, the house and the surrounding neighborhood were paved over by the city to make way for public housing complex is designed exclusively for African Americans. So, wow, as we can see here, there's a lot that's going on. There was people who end up the house ended up getting burnt down as a revenge, and then that area ended up becoming a housing project. So, uh, wow, that's all right. So let's go up here. All right, so right here it says that Robert Jr. became a businessman, taking over his father's enterprise. He became politically influential, establishing the Lincoln League in 1916 to work to register black voters, fundraising to help cover poll taxes, and advocate for the interests of African Americans in the Republican Party. Within a short time, He signed up 10,000 new black voters in Memphis and worked with E. H. Crump and his machine politics. Church served as an advisor to Republican presidents in 1920, but declined any political appointment. Church eventually married a third time after Anna died. So the senior church generally chose to stay outside the politics of his era, which enabled him to maintain influence among both black and among white and black Memphians. He was chosen as a delegate for William McKinley to the 1900 Republican Convention. Right. So you can read more information on Wikipedia if you want to find out more about this man. Okay. Let's see. All right. So let's see what else you on it. So you say it's free. Cool. That's cool. That's free. Um yes, that studio is the spot for the history of blues. You can go there too. Baby, I'm gonna have to because I ain't even far from Memphis, baby. Memphis is right up the road. Okay. I'm gonna make a trip to Memphis one day. Yes. Okay, okay. See, I gotta go to these places and actually look at the monuments and the historical sites and be able to take pictures and post them. Like I have to do that. Because wow, it's amazing. It's so amazing, especially if the people is in the city, they don't really look at it, they don't pay attention to it. Like there's so many historical monuments around that just don't even you don't even pay attention. You don't even know it's there because you're too busy on the move. But once you find out, you be like, dang, these people really did something over here. Hold on. Oh, this was owned by black people. They ran this right here. Okay, well, that's what's up. Like you really have to take that time out to actually do the research and study for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. Let's see. All right. So, I want to show you guys the book. All right. So, this book is about Robert Church by Cookie Lamel, whatever her name is. It says Boss of Bill Street, the Memphis Massacre surviving in an epidemic, respect, like father, like daughter, political service, second family, the church legacy. All right, so let's look at respect because he earned that respect. So now it talks about a proud example, right? Of course. Oh, let's read this. This is interesting right here. Said the life and works of businessman Robert Reed Church Sr. have inspired the people of his adopted city of Memphis, Tennessee for over 100 years. His contemporaries, now this book was written in 1995, by the way. His Contemporaries praise him lavishly. Modern Memphians continue to regard his achievements in segregated 19th century American South with awe and with amazement. They also continue to enjoy his many contributions to public life, including the development of the now legendary Bill Street, home of the blues. His descendants, including political activist Mary Church Terrell, politician Robert Church Jr., and historian and civil service veteran Roberta Church, carried his tradition of community involvement and personal achievement into the 20th century. So modern Memphians are not easily all. Memphis has had its share of notable citizens as well as having hosted many famous travelers, which in history and strategic in location, the Tennessee metropolis is a worthy successor to the ancient city for which it was named. The first Memphis founded in approximately 3100 BC on the banks of Egypt's Nile River was the gateway between Lower and Upper Egypt. The word Memphis means established and beautiful, an appropriate description of both cities that have borne the name. Ancient Memphis was indeed securely established, surviving nearly 4,000 years until the Arab conquest of Egypt caused the city to be abandoned in 640 AD. The stones that built the first Memphis still exist, absorbed into the foundation of the Arabian capital of Cairo downriver. Excavation of the Memphis site in Egypt. It began in 1851, an exciting venture for those who can imagine the passage of pharaohs, priests, scribes, and workers through the city and its busy waterways. Right. So it goes on to say that the American city of Memphis, Tennessee, is young in comparison, but it has already accumulated colorful history. Riverboat operators, gamblers, land speculators, bankers, jurists, and entrepreneurs like Robert Reed Church Sr. and laborers have all rubbed shoulders on the bluff city overlooking the Mississippi River. Memphis even boasts a president of the United States, Andrew Jackson, as one of its founding fathers. Woo! Andrew Jackson served as America's 17th president, holding office from 1829 to 1837. He rose to that high office after serving in many other capacities, including as a general in the United States Army, a judge of the Superior Court of Tennessee, and a governor of the New Florida Territory, which he was instrumental in gaining for the United States. Jackson, known as Old Hickory for his forceful and unyielding policies, greatly increased the land holding of the United States. Among the significant contribution made by Andrew Jackson to the shape of modern America was the founding of Memphis, Tennessee. All right. So in 1794, Jackson and a partner jurist, John Overton, right, purchased the rice tract in 1819. This Tennessee land holding became the town of Memphis. It says the creation of Jackson Overton and a third partner, General James Winchester. John Overton, originally a Virginia, occupied the Tennessee Superior Court bench that Jackson had resigned in 1804. He was famous for his expertise on land legislation and heavy influence the formation of land laws. He owned the largest land estate in Tennessee and was the richest citizen of the state in his time. Then it goes on to say United States General James Winchester, born in Maryland, served in America's Revolutionary War with distinction. Taken prisoner twice, he continued fighting until the surrender of the British force at Yorktown in 1781. James Winchester moved to Tennessee in 1785, settling on a large real estate holding, and eventually attained the rank of general and the office of Tennessee State Senator and Speaker of the Senate. His last office as commissioner of the Chickasaw boundary line facilitated the founding of the city of Memphis. James Winchester named Memphis, and his son Marcus was its first mayor. Well, what a history! So, but if Andrew Jackson, James Winchester, and John Overton founded Memphis, it was men like Robert Reed Church Sr. who sustained it. Indeed, the second city named Memphis may not have continued to exist Were it not for Robert Reed Church's heroic response to Memphis' yellow fever crisis, his action earned him recognition from his fellow citizens, black and white, and caused him to be remembered in Memphis with gratitude and affection to the current day. So now, okay, so let's see. Let's see if gonna go down to chapter 6. Okay, so I guess it won't let me go any further, but again, if you guys want to read more about Robert Reed Church Sr., you can check this out. So I never knew that Andrew Jackson founded Memphis, Tennessee. That's interesting. Andrew Jackson, the same Andrew Jackson who kicked the blacks up out of what we call um what was it? Not Fort Negro. What was the other place called? Yeah, he was the same Andrew Jackson that kicked people out of Fort Mosaic, which was in Florida. He kicked them out. He destroyed that whole area, destroyed the whole entire area, get rid of the black folks, and yeah, pretty much he had a strict policy. Now remember, the Democratic Party was started with him. It started with him, and the Republican Party started with Abraham Lincoln. But yeah, the Democratic Party started with Andrew Jackson. So for y'all don't know the history about the Democratic Party, you better learn because they was more racist and more ruthless than the Republicans. They did a lot of ruthless ass shit. They were very ruthless. I mean, you had so many racists coming out the Democratic Party. You had the Ku Klux Klan, who were Democrats. You had Andrew Jackson, and the Democratic Party wouldn't even let black folks become Democrats. They ain't let black people become Democrats till later on. That's why so many black folks became Republicans because they had better opportunity to do so. You know what I'm saying? They had better opportunity to do so, become a Republican versus being a Democrat. But anyhow, all right, that's all the information that I have available for you guys. And I hope you guys can. And you know what, matter of fact, before I close it out, let's look up a little information about Bill Street real fast. Okay, this Bill Street. I just want to look that up. Bill Street Dynasty. That song in the struggle for the soul of Memphis by Preston Lauterbach. Okay. All right. So it said there is no Yankee Doodle in Memphis. Birth of a kingpin. Woo. Ah, okay. It talk about birth of Bill Street. So let's look at the birth of a kingpin. Right. And they say there is no Yankee Doodle in Memphis. So spring of 1866, Memphis. A lawnmower pulled the streetcar down Main, people on foot, on horseback, or in buggies and hats and drays of cotton and lumber wore the cobblestone slippery and black. The street shot southward towards the fort. 5 solid blocks of brick buildings had lately grown up there. some as high as 4 stories or 5 stories. Past Bill Street, Maine's cobble turned to dust and brick buildings shaped to whitewashed log shanties. Okay. So it goes on to say blue coat Negro soldiers from Fort Pickering congregated in the rough built groceries and makeshift cabins, drinking and firing their pistols on Grady. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. They was out there firing pistols over there. Now you know Bill Street was like lit. Bill Street was lit, but Bill Street was the ratchet, was the hood. Sound like it was the hood. I mean, they said black folks was out there firing their pistols up there. But okay, yeah, nah. Let me stop. Anyways, it says at the last stop before unyielding darkness stood a large rambling frame structure set on a huge yard with a few small shields and dwellings scattered around. Here, a white woman named Mary Grady ran a Negro dance hall and served drinks, wine, soda, water, brandy, peaches, and such as you would find in any little shebang, she would say. Jeez, boy, these folks, boy, I tell you, they were getting down then. Okay. Now let's go up. Let's go up to a promiscuous running fight. So it says a promiscuous running fight. So it says the day's political ideals mattered little in the street, where concepts such as civil rights had long gone rail. Negroes from the surrounding country were settling the lowland along Bayou Gayazo, a sometimes sluggish, sometimes roaring creek that snaked its way throughout the city, breeding mosquitoes and drowning drunks and children in the dark. The marsh bore settlements called Happy Valley, Rhine Road, and Satan Promade, where the most reckless, dissolute, and depraved characters, male and female, sought bodies of infamy and crime. Jeez. So in Happy Valley, civil rights distilled into its most frightening form. Miscegenation, politicians could squabble endlessly about who got to vote, but in Happy Valley, social equality had already taken root. A Memphis policeman named Dave Roach took up the fight against interracial sex. He picked up little bits of talk on the Happy Valley beat during the dark hours of the morning on April 17th. He learned that a dark-skinned character known as Sweet Charles had holed up in a certain shanty, where in the delicate phrase of the news, the doctrine of miscegenation was being racially illustrated. Damn. Damn. Well, this book look like it's very interesting. Very interesting book. Let's see. Talk about let's see, chapter 4. Birth of a Kingpin. Hmm. Let me read this. Birth of a Kingpin. From Nathan Bedford Forrest, sitting in a train as it rolled through flat West Tennessee, cast his great eye over abandoned farmlands as where energetic laborers could be found to work these follow fields, he said. Get them from Africa. If you put them in squad or team with one experienced leader in each squad, they will soon revive our country. I want northern men to come in here and would protect any man who comes to build up the country with my life, but they won't come. Europeans won't come. I say let's get Africans by pursuing a liberal policy to them. We can benefit them and they us. The prisoners taken in war over there can all be turned over to us and immigrate and be freemen here. So speaking of that, when the Africans thought they were doing business with the European, they ended up getting got. Those Europeans said, "Okay, we'll take them prisoners of war and bring them on over here and have them uh, build up the country, uh, bring up some resources or whatever. Well, they end up getting played. They end up getting played, and they got taken advantage of. So I would say this, and I'm gonna be very blunt: the Africans were stupid enough to give the prisoners of war over to the European. They were stupid enough to do that. It was stupid on their part because they was they thought they were being clever, and they ended up getting caught slipping by trusting these folks, and these foreigners just came in and took over what they had, took over their resources. Now you see what's going on today, right? Now you see all that colonialism, and you see neo-colonialism, the resurgence of colonialism, the renaissance of colonialism, the rebirth of colonialism. You see all of that taking place. All of that is happening. Well, I mean, I laugh a little bit. It's not really funny, but I'm laughing because you gotta laugh off the things that's going on in history. You really do. I mean, besides being sad about it, you have to kind of laugh it off because you will see how things had played out and how the chess move was taking place. So these Europeans was able to play the chess move on African people, right? By taking the African folks up by the continent, bring them over here, and then taking the ones that were slave traders, bring them on over here, right? And going into their land and taking over. But check this out. Let's see what else they talking about over here. He already had imported ship, one such shipment. They were very fond of grasshoppers and bugs, and I taught them to eat cooked meat, and they were as good niggers as ever I had. Behind his publicly professed liberal policy towards Negroes, General Forrest had joined a new clandestine organization that vowed to uphold the society of Old South. This brotherhood, the night of the Ku Klux, well, wielded terror against freemen. The Klux power of intimidation ran contentiously to the evil magic conjured in Negro minds by the term forest cavalry, apocalyptic knights on horseback. Forest Confederate salesman was good for the hoodoo business. Ooh. Yeah, hoodoo is a big thing out there in Memphis now. Despite his more deliberate effort, Forrest had established an important center of black freedom. In 1859, as Memphis Finance Commissioner, he had located the city market on Bill Street at the corner of Hernando. The marketplace had immediately become the hub of black social life during slavery. Fiddlers drew crowds calling out dance figures, and house servants on errands gossiped in the shade below the canvas tents. Owens, those corners at Bill and Hernando would form a nuts of black culture and power for the ensuing century, a location unlike any place else in the world. Forrest had unwittingly placed the cornerstone for one of the outstanding black communities in the country. The foot of Bill Street soaked in the river determined its identity more than any other factor. In this town dominated by cotton, the free black population would provide the industry labor just as slaves had in 1860. Black hands picked cotton and drove drays the carry sack laden with white golds from the cobblestone river landing inland to brokerage houses and gins. Oh, and then you know what Uncle Nearest? Uncle Nearest, the liquor company, right? The liquor company was founded in Tennessee. Now, I don't know how far it is from Memphis, but Uncle Nearest story, if y'all know about his story, right? He helped Jack Daniel to get started with his liquor. Okay. He was the one that was what's called brewing. He was the brewster, right? He was brewing the liquor, making the whiskey and all of that, and showing him how to do it. Okay. And years later, there's a black entrepreneurs that decide to have their own brand and name it after him. And also, there's a liquor called Fort Mose Liquor that's that's black owned as well. All right, but yeah, Uncle Nearest was was started by black entrepreneurs out in Tennessee. So let me go ahead and show you guys real quick. All right, so here it is. Uncle Nearest, 1884, right? It's a small batch whiskey. All right, smoothie whiskey in Tennessee. Uncle Nearest 1884 small batch whiskey. Uncle Nearest is Uncle Nearest 1884 is the proud legacy of the best whiskey maker the world never knew. Tennessee distilling legend Nearest Green. Each of our small batch premier whiskey are individually selected by our founders at descendants of Nearest Green, bottled at a similar proof to what made Nearest whiskey so beloved. This batch was created by B. Edley Butler. All right. So it's in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Shelbyville, Tennessee. Okay. All right. So Trey Sunwood, let me it's almost gone. No. But I had to drink it up. Okay, so Big Creek Money says 4 hours away. Okay, cool, cool. Okay. So it says Nathan Bedford Forrest, the richest slave trader down here when he was around, Memphis was a slave capital. Wow, that's a history. That's an interesting history right there. That's very interesting. Hmm. So let's see. Let's check. Let's see what else we can find in here. So say the key figure in the Black Memphis economy was the roustabout. These muscular men carried 1,000-pound bales of cotton and pick, packed in enormous block or cylinders like hay down steamboat gang planks to the waiting drays and wagons. Steamboat lines paid rousters well. They were the most prosperous and yet least rooted black workers in the cotton economy. Living on riverboats, they seem to not have been real family men because they carried cash and spent it fast. Bill Street got accustomed to accepting black dollars. The roustabouts floundered up from the cobblestone landing, their breeches rolled to the knee, and metal cotton hooks shining from their belt. Hmm. All right. So it goes on to say the growing city culture and character follow the river. Every steamer unloaded immigrants. Colored people flocked up the muddy roads from Mississippi. Some crossed over from, some crossed over the river from Arkansas. And the Bill District, white mulattoes and blacks lived side by side. Sometimes within the same building, they mixed so quickly on and around the street, no one had time to make rules about who could go where or what they could do. Bill Street itself, undoubtedly becoming the Negro hub of the city, was heavily white residential, running the gamut from the sailor's rooming house at number 1 Bill to the fine homes top in Milan families, some or so blocks up, right? It says international variety was the only rule among white citizens. interspersed, yet interspersed between. They hailed not from old Virginia or South Carolina, but from Poland, Hungary, uh, Switzerland, Norway, Italy, France, and every German state, Moravia, Hanover, Hessen, Prussia, Wittenberg, the British Isle, sent numerous representatives, as did the West Indies and China. Whatever ideas about the Negro percolate on this street, they didn't come straight from the old South slave power. European launched every type of business: blacksmith, gunsmith, cafes, confectioner, druggists, dry goods, grocers, saloons, seamstress, milliners, shoemakers, tailors, and laundries. Bill Street's international flavor undoubtedly appealed to Negroes who wouldn't have to patronize businesses of rebels or race rioters here. So, there's a lot of information. This seemed like a great book. Okay, so this book is called The Bill Street Dynasty: Set Song in the Struggle for Soul in Memphis, again by Pres- Preston Lauterbach, or Lauterbach, yeah, Preston Lauterbach, author of The Chilling Circuit. Okay, so you guys can also check that book out on your own discretion if you want to. Make sure you look it up on Amazon. But anyways, so that's all I have. Shout out to everybody that was watching. Shout out to Big Cree Money. Thank you for giving me that historical information. I appreciate that. Yes, I appreciate that a lot. Shout out to Tavo for coming through. Shout out to Kent. Thank y'all so much. So until next time, y'all take it easy on yourself, man, and y'all be safe. Let me see. Let me see if there's any commentaries that I can find. Okay. Nope, no comments. All right, cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Cree Money. I really appreciate you giving me some historical information. Um, yeah, there's a lot I didn't even know, but now that I know, okay, and I'm glad that you came on here to let me know these. Yeah, but if you ain't get a chance to, y'all need to go on here and buy this Uncle Nearest liquor. It's pretty smooth. You know what I mean? So, especially if you're trying to bring the New Year's in, make sure, or the Christmas. Christmas coming up, so make sure y'all get that Uncle Nearest and get that Fort Mosaic because that's what I want. I wish I could get some Fort Mosaic for Christmas. I wish I could get that, but yeah, make sure you guys get this liquor right here or this whiskey. 1884 Uncle Nearest. All right, yeah, y'all get that. All right, make sure y'all support them. All right, this is promo, free promo. Nah, for real, make sure y'all buy that. Yeah, get a chance to, you know what I mean? So there's so many liquor brand out there. We can go buy that Jack Daniel, that Hennessy, boy. We can buy that Uncle Nearest. Nearest. All right, then. So again, y'all take it easy on yourself. And this your girl Tiffany. I'm logging off saying peace and power, elevation be to all of you. Until next time, deuces. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I will chop it up with y'all later. All right.